Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we are going to have yet another video covering some strong fundamentals about the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for the support that we've been receiving over these last couple videos. It's been really awesome. We've hit our like goals of over 100 for both of them in a day, and I want to see if we can complete that again. So I'm putting a 100 like goal on this video, and I am ready to set it off. So as you guys can see in the title, this video is actually all about comboing and how to correctly pressure your opponent. And so yeah, let's actually switch it over to kind of the graphic page, and we will get started on the terminology. Alrighty then. So right before we get into it, I just want to say that if you want to show this brand some love, this channel, you can just go down in the description, check out the link tree for all of my links, maybe even go over to my Dragon Ball gaming channel and just, you know, like the video in the description. I have a certain video, just like it, let it run, really help it get on the map, and I would very much so appreciate that. So with that being said, let's talk about comboing. I am going to say that in this game, your hand is your life, not your life pool. Once you are out of your hand, it's pretty much over, because your hand is how you not only pressure on swings, but how you defend on incoming swings. So with that being said, managing how you combo effectively is going to be the biggest part of this game. So I'd like to introduce kind of 3 tiers of the amounts of pressure that you can put in. And those 3 tiers are neutral, neutral, hand draining, and assured damage. And we're going to talk about that. And assured damage is going to have an asterisk on it, but like, this is the whole thing. So when it comes to this, I'm going to start off with 20k. 20k is a solid stat line, and it is a base for quite a bit of cards. So when you're looking at the 20k, it's your Awakened Leader, it's a lot of 4-drops, it's some you know, it's some 2-drop vanillas. There are a lot of cards that have the 20k baseline. But here's the thing. Let's say if you're, you know, whether your leader, your 20k leader is attacking a sideways 4-cost Vegeta SR, common occurrence, or a leader attacking a leader, you know, at 4 life, you know, where you guys are both going to expend hand in order to stop each other from doing damage, okay? Swinging and not comboing is a neutral poke. If you know they don't want the card to leave, you can know off of this neutral poke, matching a card's power to power, you're going to take 1 card from their hand unless they A, do not mind losing the card, or B, can't defend it. So you have to be cognizant. If your opponent only has 4 cards in hand and you swing 20 to this 20 card Vegeta and they let it go, chances are those 4 cards in hand are so valuable that they are not worth dropping to save this Vegeta that's already on the field. Or they may know that, you know, you have a couple other swings lined up and they can't defend it more than once, so why defend it once at all? Now, when you end up swinging with this and you know, they have like a 7 card hand, if they let it go, that card was inconsequential. Now, if they have a 7 card hand and they let a damage go through, you know, that might just be a brick, because with 7 cards in hand, one of those cards has got to be let go to stop you from going from 4 to 3 life. But that is a thing to always consider. Neutral swings are important because you can always assume, especially swinging at life when they're at 4 or lower, you can always assume that a neutral poke at a leader is going to result in a loss of 1 card in their hand, unless the leader has some sort of effect that can make it go further up, like Gohan, for instance, being able to pop an energy to go up an extra 15k. Now, when it comes to these neutral pokes, lining multiple of them up can be a very detrimental thing. You can always end up pushing cards to your hand by lining up multiple 20ks to a leader when a leader is at 4 life or less. So this is going to be a big part of how you guys want to pressure your opponent. Now, there is another thing that's kind of cool, because like I said, hand advantage is everything. Swinging, if you don't want to give your opponent cards in life, but you want to get rid of cards in hand, you can always make the bait play of pressuring a card via swings, knowing you have the removal for it. If you have this 20k Vegeta on board, and you have your leader and a 20k Android 18 on board, right? But you have the 5-drop Gohan in hand that can destroy Vegeta just by being played. A great play when you don't want to give your opponent cards, but you do want to wear that in their hand, is swing with your leader. 20k to 20k, get that draw, pass it to them. See if they drop a 5k. Swing with Android 18 on the 20k. Draw a card. See if they give you that 5k. Then, after they've given you that 2 5ks to protect it, if that's the case, you tap 5 and you play Gohan. Popping him, swinging at the leader for 30k now that they've softened their hand by 2 cards because of the neutral you sent them before popping it. Now granted, this is I believe the best way to drain hand, because you can also swing neutral, and maybe the second one gets through. Then you don't have to play the Gohan. Then you're cleared to maybe play your 5-drop Goku, ramp a card, or a Turles, ramp a card and swing. But the whole point is you don't have to play your 5-drop Gohan on their Vegeta if they've already let it go. So these neutral pokes and knowing when to use them and when you can edge your opponent out of cards in hand, when you can bait them into giving more resources than they needed to, is an excellent thing. So moving on to the next one, I believe I called them hand draining shots. Hand draining shots are when you know there's a high profile target or they need to protect their life and you start forcing them to come out of hand. And the thing about hand draining shots is this is where you have to have a good understanding of the game and the format awareness, because a hand draining shot all depends on how the board is set up. If the hand is extremely large, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards at this point, and you want to make sure you drain the hand, first off, the first thing is you have to make sure your target of attack is crucial. A hit turn sideways in a red deck isn't going to give you the same amount of cards from hand as a SCR Goku turn sideways that you can actually swing on for neutral and then pile on, or a Goku leader that's at 3 life and you're trying to bring it down to 3 or from 3 to 2. Those things are going to warrant more of a response than just a 2-drop that can easily be replaced. But for instance, a draining shot is generally because the attack's not getting through, but you want to make them work for it. And these are also very much so important things, because if you attack too hard, your opponent's just going to let it go. If you're swinging on their leader and you hit them for 55, chances are, unless it's going to put them at lethal range and you've got a grip in hand and more attackers, they are going to take that, because it's not worth losing half a hand to stop an attack with other ones on the way. So you have to kind of make them juicy enough to push damage, but not too much up the ladder for them to want to expend hand. That's the whole purpose. You're trying to soften their hand. So for instance, if you're looking at a green deck, like a Gohan for instance, and you are swinging at them tapped out, but they have 5-drop Goku on board, you want to swing for 40 if you want to drain their hands. Why? Or actually, probably you want to swing for 35 flat. You want to swing for 35 flat because 35 flat is going to cause them to use their leader effect to go up to 35 and then use one more card to break your 35. Now, if you wanted to draw out a 10k, or you wanted to draw out a 10k and more, what you would do is swing for 50k at them. Because at that point, especially if they're at 4 or 3 life, that is going to require them to either use their leader effect and super combo to go up to 55, or use a leader effect, a 10k and a 5k to go up to 50. Either way, you are getting 2 to 3. Well, you're getting 1 to 3 cards out of their hand, depending on what their hand looks like, if they have the access to a super combo. And this is if they're tapped out. But like I said, this all changes depending on how the board sets up. You could be looking at 1 energy open and 5-drop Goku on the field. At this point, it is probably not possible to necessarily hit them with a hand draining card, because at this point it's not going to be hand draining for them, but for you. If they have 1 energy open, that could signify the presence of a gigantic meteor, which at that point in the game would give them 2,500 or 25k, which means they could pop an energy with their leader, go up to 35k, activate gigantic meteor, go up to 60k, and for just your anything base 2025 to get to 60k, you are putting out at least 3 2ks, or sorry, 3 3 10ks, and then a 5k. That is far too much. 3 to 4 cards in hand just to reach that, because extra cards can work, it's far too much to do that. So in that case, you were really just trying to aim. If they have like an energy up, a hand draining shot is still 35, because whether they use the gigantic meteor and go up to 45, which would be an over combo, or they just use their leader effect and then put out 1 more card from their hand, you're still just going to be at a point where you can force them to drop another card from their hand on top of using their leader effect. So that's a convoluted kind of example because Gohan is a deck that can do that, but that is always what you need to know, all right? If you're swinging at a Vegeta leader and he's got 6 cards in hand but 1 energy up, you need to know that he could play Gallic Gun and draw 1 card. And if you don't want him just to Gallic Gun you, replace the card in his hand and then keep it moving, you need to attack him for 35k. That way he plays Gallic Gun, he goes up to 35k, and then he has to drop a card out of his hand, essentially negating the card he just replaced with Gallic Gun, putting him at a -1. So these are the testing shots, the hand draining shots, and it's very important to understand that rhythm, that flow. And the more you understand the format in which each deck can do, the better you'll be at doing this. The better you'll be at assessing what part is going to be most advantageous for you to pursue in terms of draining the hand. Now, when it comes to the last one, I call it assured damage. Assured damage is looking at a card and pretty much swinging 20k over whatever that they could, whatever that it could be at base. Because in most cases, swinging over something 20k is going to require one of their 4 super combos and another card. Or if they don't have a super combo to give up, it's going to require an extra card plus a 10k. Or Gigantic Meteor, because Gigantic Meteor is that dude. It's just, it's unfortunate, but against green, assured damage is probably 25 higher because Gigantic Meteor. You have to clear that Gigantic Meteor to make sure they have to use it in another card or just take it. But the instance for this is the same 20k leader. If you swing on it and you combo 5, they can drop a 10k. Done. Okay. If you swing on them for 30k, they have to either use an extra card to go up 15 minimum, or they have to use a super combo to go up 20. But if you attack with 40k to a 20k, they have to either use a super combo plus a card, they either have to use an extra card plus a 10k, or they have to use three cards and 2 10ks and a 5k to stop that, which is going to massively drain the hand beyond repair, or they just simply take it because that's at that point losing 3 cards is a lot. And usually on a life, it's a lot easier to justify guarding these, especially once you're at 3 and 2. But on a battle card, a lot of the times, like, it's hard to justify comboing that high up to save a battle card because you're trading the battle card on the board with at least 2 to 3 cards in your hand. Sometimes they're very, very valuable like that. So that is essentially what I wanted to convey this video, the layers of comboing, how you get there, and the effective numbers that you would have to push. And unlike One Piece, it's not just flat, plain and simple. This really does shift depending on what color you're playing. Comboing against open energy in green is different than comboing against open energy in red or blue. They're all different from each other because, like with red, if you're swinging with a battle card, you have to understand not only could they go up 15k with Kamehameha if they play it, but you're going to go minus 5k, making a whole 20k shift. That's the same as a super combo. In blue, you should know that they're going to cantrip. So they're going to play Gallic Gun, go up 15, draw another card. In green, you're not dealing with an extra 20, you're dealing with an extra 25. So, well, extra 15, you're dealing with 25. So you need to go at least 25 higher. And if you really, really, really want to mess them up, 35k higher, because that's going to warrant a Gigantic Meteor and a leader effect from Gohan. From androids, or sometimes even Broly is going to elicit a Gigantic Meteor plus. So there are a lot of ways you can do this, but those are the 3 categories: the neutral poke, the hand drain, and the assured damage or assured KO. So mastering these fundamentals will help you so much, and mastering these fundamentals are going to help you bottom out somebody's hand so that you can then go in for the game later. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this subject in the comments. I want to know. I want to keep it short. I want to keep it sweet. I want to make sure it was informative, and I hope that this is yet another video that could help you guys excel. And as per usual, if you have questions, just put them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them. So thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next video and or article, because those are coming back soon, and we're gonna head over to the Patreon appreciation page. Thanks, and I'll see you. Hey y'all, we're back at the Patreon appreciation page. Thank you guys for giving me the extra oomph, and thank you guys for being the most patient Patreon ever. I have been just swamped with the release of this new game and trying to transition to some work stuff, but I guarantee we are going to be back on it with the like giveaways that I'm putting out. Just wanted to make sure I'm at a good place to actually send them out and record all the entries, and then the articles coming out for both One Piece as well as Dragon Ball Super Fusion World. So thank you guys for sitting patient. We're about to re-amp this up in a big way. And then finally, I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Realm of Xers. That's right, the Beerars, the Brycears, Big Daddy Flackjack, the 3 Bs. They give me what I need. Now that sounds really odd. Look, thank you guys for going the extra and I appreciate you to the moon and back, all of you. Thank you. See you next time.